Joining me tonight on the show is Mr. P Chidambaram, senior Congress leader, former union minister and distinguished lawyer. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Chidambaram, for joining me. Now, Mr. Chidambaram, you continue to tweet on the Pegasus scandal. You've raised questions about who funded it and where exactly, if at all, if the government has deployed it, where exactly is the source of that deployment. But Mr. Chidambaram, the government continues to maintain that this is a non-story. There is no evidence to suggest that the government had anything to do with it.
If it's a non-story and the government has nothing to do with it, why doesn't government boldly and fearlessly appoint a commission of inquiry or a judge to report that, one, there was no infiltration into any Indian telephone, two, no Indian telephone was hacked, three, if it was hacked, it was not by the government of India, four, it was not by a government agency. I mean, all this can be easily discovered or found out if there is an investigation. Is it because there is a non-story that the defense minister of Israel flies to France to pacify President Macron? Is it because there is a non-story, does the Israel government order an investigation by no less than the Israeli National Security Council? Are these simply just empty gestures?
Right.
Every day there is mounting evidence that something went wrong. Question is, did something go wrong in India? If something did go wrong in India, who was responsible for it?
Okay, but Mr. Chidambaram, when the government said, and we had the minister on the floor of the House saying that we did nothing illegal, we do have protocols in place for surveillance, but we don't do illegal surveillance, which was an attempt, I suppose, to answer the question you're asking about whether they were actually snooping, illegally snooping or hacking into the phones of Indian citizens. You don't buy that as an explanation?
I don't, because the minister is an intelligent minister. And the statement is worded very cleverly. What did he say? There was no unauthorized surveillance. Two questions. Was there surveillance? Second question. Was there authorized surveillance? If you say that there was no unauthorized surveillance, these two questions arise. If he was so clear that there was no surveillance at all, he should have simply said, there was no surveillance of whatever kind. Why did he qualify the word surveillance by there was no unauthorized surveillance?
Okay.
There's a famous proverb in Tamil, I'm sure there's one in every language. My father is not hiding in the barn. What does it mean? My father is not hiding in the barn means what?
Okay. But Mr. Chidambaram, you tweeted saying that I'm certain the client's name will be revealed soon. By this, you're meaning the client of the Pegasus spyware, indicating, I suppose, that that it will emerge that it's the Indian government. But what gives you this confidence that the name will be revealed soon? Because if India is not going to probe, the government is not going to order a probe, how will the name be revealed?
This is a new revelation today. This is a new revelation made last night or early this morning, and it is being carried in the newspapers this morning. Wire, which is part of that international group of journals and journalists, put out a statement saying, which in two places say, Indian client of NSO group. Please read that statement very carefully. Indian client of NSO group. Twice it says.
Right.
So Wire is now stating that there is an Indian client of the NSO group. Who is that Indian client? Was it the government of India? Was it an agency of the government of India? Was it a rogue agency of the government of India which acted without the approval of the government of India?
Right.
Or was it a private entity? Each one makes it worse. If it was a rogue agency, the matter is very serious. And there is a private entity the matter is of utmost seriousness.
Okay.
So there is an Indian client. You have to find out who the Indian client is.
Okay. You know, Mamata Banerjee, as you know, has or may have heard, has set up a judicial commission to probe this particular scandal or supposed scandal. Why has a Congress? I mean, firstly, does that have any kind of legal bite or sanction? And if so, why didn't one of the Congress rules states do that? Has she sort of stolen a march over you in that sense?
No, we are not in a one-upmanship game. You see, Commissions of Inquiry Act authorizes, enables the central government to appoint a commission. It also empowers the state government to appoint a commission. Mamata ji has appointed a commission because there is evidence that an MP from Bengal was snooped upon. At least there is an allegation that an MP from Bengal, Abhishek Banerjee, was snooped upon.
Right.
Therefore, there is a cause of action arising in Bengal, what in law we call a cause of action arising in Bengal,
Okay.
which entitles her to appoint a commission. But we have no name so far, no prominent name I know of. Maybe you have read it more carefully, emerging either from Rajasthan or from Chhattisgarh. The question of appointing a commission by the state government of Chhattisgarh or Rajasthan doesn't arise.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's see how it plays out. But Mr. Chidambaram, thank you very much indeed for joining us
Thank you.
on the show. Thanks very much indeed.